What do I bring to the role of occupational therapy educator? A suitcase, a handbag, and an iPhone. A suitcase represents the components of my life that have come together to create who I am today. Over my life, I have accumulated experience through my various occupational roles, which include daughter, sister, mother, friend, traveller, occupational therapist, educator, student, learner, researcher. A handbag represents the components of me that I selectively hone and bring to my role of occupational therapy educator, researcher, and learner. My education philosophy. As an educator, I am a facilitator of learning. My role is to design well-structured learning experiences for my students to facilitate their transition to becoming an occupational therapist. I do not work alone. I'm part of a team. So an important part of my role is to collaborate with my colleagues so that we can complement each other's teaching and learning goals and strategies. As an educator, I am also a researcher. I research areas of interest in occupational therapy to contribute new knowledge to my profession. I also research teaching and learning practices to expand my approaches as an educator. By researching what I teach and how I teach it, I endeavour to convey a genuine excitement about the topic, linking research to my teaching approaches. I also conduct research with colleagues in the community to ensure that relevant research is being conducted to enhance practice. As an educator, I am also a learner. I like to be confident that my students are learning current best practice knowledge and skills. Therefore, I strive to advance my knowledge of my field through self-directed learning activities and research. I also expand my knowledge beyond occupational therapy to facilitate the links between occupational therapy and other professions. Learning is a two-way process. Therefore, I ask my students to take active and deliberate involvement in their own learning. Every student comes with knowledge and experience and prior learning. Therefore, an important part of my role is to work with others to design and develop ways for learners to access information, translate it into their own context, add it to what they already know, and then act upon it, thus transforming information to knowledge for practice. For me, an iPhone represents connectivity and engagement. I've been engaged in using technology on a personal and professional level for over 15 years. I've learned to use technology to broaden my networks and scope of practice. About 6 years ago, I became deeply concerned that occupational therapy as a profession was about to miss the tidal wave of change brought on by the rapid development in technology. I remember noticing that it was not being recognised, so I set out to connect with others who were also concerned about this issue. My PhD topic is also focusing on this issue specifically, and my role as a foundation member of OT for OT illustrates how important this is to me. As an educator, I am also a networker. I like to link with community agencies within the broader community in which I live. I link with them for teaching and research. I've developed excellent connections with my local and global professional community through my personal networks and through the online world. Online technology for occupational therapy, also called OT for OT, is an example of harnessing the power of networking in the global virtual world. This is probably only a small example of what is possible in the future with the next generation of occupational therapists. There are many perspectives needed as we go through life and as we walk beside our students on their journey to becoming an occupational therapist. Being an occupational therapy educator requires flexibility, creativity, resourcefulness, and organisation. I have discovered that understanding the big picture view and forward planning ensure that I can prioritise competing demands. Life is a journey, and I always look for new opportunities to grow and learn. My suitcase continues to fill, and the contents of my handbag are refined for each role that I take. My iPhone continues to connect me with my external network.